Hey loves, it's Britt, and in this video I'm going to talk about what it means to have Venus conjunct to Mars in the composite chart. So the composite chart is different than the synastry in relationship astrology. It's actually a separate chart made by combining the two persons' birth charts, either by the actual midpoints between the planets, or if you're using the Davison chart, it's actually the midpoint between the two birth dates. And it makes this whole separate chart that really shows a lot about who they become together as a couple, the kind of unique energy signature that they are, when they're a couple together. Now, with this aspect, I'm not surprised this has been requested a few times. This seems to be the most powerfully sexual aspect that there could be in the composite chart. Whenever I've seen this in a couple's chart, they have a ton of passionate feelings about each other, and they describe this relationship as the best sex of their life. Now, that maybe isn't always going to be true depending on what type of relationship it actually is. Like maybe it's not a romantic relationship, but whatever type of relationship that it is, this is a passionate relationship. This is a very strongly bonded connection. Like it would be hard to be neutral about this relationship because the way that you combine together is you turn into a Venus conjunct Mars person. And like just think about Venus conjunct Mars in the natal chart. Like they're fiery, they're sexy, they're sexual, they're powerful, because the desires are of Venus are mixed with the how we act upon those desires, Mars. So this connection, other than the sun conjunct to the moon. So the sun conjunct to the moon in the composite chart is the masculine and feminine meeting as well. So that's a really powerful, strong bonding soulmate aspect. It's not as sexual though as the Venus conjunct Mars aspect. So Venus is the feminine principle as well, and so Mars is also the masculine principle in a different way, right? Venus is more our love, nature, our heart, what we find pleasurable, what we value, and Mars is how we go and get it, that action, that basic thrust of energy, and it could be the thrust of energy towards sexual conquest or just any type of action. So this relationship, while it is characterized by like a highly sexually charged feeling, it could also just be a very active relationship. And actually, that's what I would recommend any type of relationship with this aspect. You want to be remaining active and even having like some type of project together or some type of like creative pursuit is a really good use of this energy. So like when you come together as a couple with this aspect, or if it's a friendship or any type of relationship, like you have such a strong creative energy with this that like it's almost wasting it if you're not working on some type of creative project or combining your energies to like actually create something. And like you want to look at the house that this is taking place in, like what where this basic like thrust of energy and sexual energy and creative energy is coming out in the composite chart. You want to look at that, and then you can look at the natal charts too and see what your actual like signs that your Venus and Mars are in, as to, you know, more information on how this energy is going to come out. But this is definitely, and I've seen this time and time again, it was so funny. This one friend of mine on Facebook the other day was like posting, oh, you know, I don't understand why I've got, you know, uncompatible Mars and Venus signs with my partner, yet we have the best sex ever, or something like that. And then I looked up the composite chart, and or she sent me the composite chart, and they had Venus conjunct Mars in the composite, because I said, oh, well, look at the composite chart, what's there? So when you have this Venus-Mars conjunction, it actually shows that even if you have not compatible Venus and Mars signs in the synastry, the way that you combine is you turn into, this Venus-Mars conjunction person. So it basically takes that away. Not that you won't still have some difficulties relating and having a sexual relationship, and your ideas of love are going to be different, but the way that you combine in the composite, the way, like, the combined soup that you make is a Venus-Mars conjunction person, which, there's many benefits to this conjunction: the passion, the feeling, the sexuality, the intensity. But there are downsides as well. I mean, with this kind of relationship, it's going to be hard to be impersonal because there's just so much passion, there's so much feeling, there's so much fire, right? So if you do break up, or if this is a friendship, if you stop being friends or whatever, it's hard to like I said, be neutral or be casual with this type of relationship, because it's just so powerfully felt. Not that you can't stay friends with a person. My mom has this aspect with, he was my stepdad when I was probably about 9 to, I don't know, to 12 or something. And then they were off and on for a while after that. And they're still friends to this day, like just casual friends. Like they just talk on the phone sometimes. They don't see each other that often, but they had one of the most beautiful composite charts that I ever saw. But they actually did have sort of a toxic relationship too, which was interesting because, yeah, they had a beautiful composite chart that contained this conjunction. So it's just definitely a very significant, very emotionally bonded, sexually bonded relationship. And I actually believe that this aspect does show a high degree of compatibility as far as like a love and sexual relationship. You can actually get along on a wide variety of things. Like Venus in the composite chart can also seem to show like what you both value. So what, with this relationship, with this connection, it can show that what you both value, as shown by Venus, you both take action together in a more assertive way towards acquiring that which you value, as with Mars. So it's like, even if you're not an aggressive or assertive person in your natal chart, when you get in this relationship, you actually get more done in the sense of like what you value, like getting clear on what you value, getting clear on what you really want in life. Like when you get in this relationship, you actually become clearer on all these things, and you can actually, have more of that in your life as well. And that's sort of like the Taurus influence of like Venus, where you sort of become like aggressively Taurus in this, with this aspect where you can get a clearer sense on what you value. And then with the Mars influence connected to it in this couple, you like get more of the things that you want because of these powerful drives, and kind of like Mars activating Venus, where you are fiery with this aspect. You don't just sit around and wait for it to come to you necessarily. You actually go and get it. So this can definitely show a power couple. I've heard from many people that have had this, like I said at the beginning, it's like the best sex of their life relationship. I've never actually had the pleasure of having this specific aspect in a relationship, interestingly enough, as I've had so many. I've had the square a lot, which I'll talk about, which is actually good in the composite chart, and the sextile too I've had, and the trine, but not this one. But I've seen it in other couples, and clients and friends, and my mom and my old stepdad. And yeah, it's actually quite common in romantic relationships. I think it's a big blessing, although the negative side effects, like I said, would be it's very personal, it's very emotional, it's very fiery and passionate, and things can get really heated when we have a Venus-Mars conjunction in the composite chart. So yeah, and I think, some of the best uses of it would really be like, obviously the sex part, but like also combining together to create something, whatever it is. Like, this is a very creative relationship. And, with knowing this, you should make use of that and create something beautiful with this aspect, because you really could with this combination. So yeah, I'd love to know your experiences of this aspect. How was this relationship for you? Did it feel like this? And yeah, I'm doing a request. This was requested, so let me know if you have other requests. I'm doing all types of videos, natal, synastry, and composite, like this one. And I also do offer one-on-one sessions, and my links are below. Okay, talk soon. Love you guys. Bye.